that's why I'm only coaching a few now too. Is we gotta be in this together, and you gotta trust me, and I gotta be there for you. And if you trust me, then every decision that I make for you, you've got to trust. Whether it's, hey, don't take this fight. I mean, with the last fight, I was like, no, you're not taking the fight. And he's like, come on, coach.
What fight is that?
This is the Tony fight, when he first got offered for the first time. And I was like, no, we were at sparring session. And he's like, why not? And I'm like, because you said you'd never take a short notice fight. And I'm like, no.
Yeah,
and then
it was like 11 days, right?
Yeah,
wasn't it something crazy
and
like that?
But we've been training hard. Then he hit me with all these points. And he's like, dude, with the coronavirus going on, who cares? He's like, let me get in there. I need to fight someone right now. I need to release all this. And his little basic points, I looked at him. I said, all right, are you going to do it again? Are you going to stick to your goal on the next one? Because I might let you off on this one. And he said, I will never take a short notice fight. That's why the second time it was offered, he was even more pissed about it. And I was just like, he's like, the other one was 7 days out. Like, I got nothing to lose. I'll go out on my shield.
So I got the call. I think
it was 10 or something like that.
No, I think it was like 15 days before that fight. I got the call one night. The next day I went, I called him. He said no that night. Went to sparring the next day, and then that's when I not talked him into it, but I did like 7 hard rounds. I felt great. I had been sparring so much, and so he was like, I was like, let's do it. I talked him into it, and then so we go hard, and then I think it was, when did they cancel? I think it was 10 days before the fight. They canceled it, and that's when it went out the window, and then they called me.
So did you fall right out of camp, or did you keep training?
I was down to 168. They called me at like 3 p.m., and that night I went to sleep at like 182. I went straight to it's called McGill's World of Ice Cream. I got, double scoop with the waffle cone, and then we ate Pizza Hut for breakfast the next morning. Oof. We had pancakes. I had my cousin Basquito there with me. He was helping me, help with my cooking and helping me around the house during those hard 20 days. And yeah, we went hard.
Hard.
And then 3 days later, they called me and they're like, it's May 9th. And I was like, fuck that. I was like, I don't take short notice fights. It's like, this last one was, 10 days. I get the benefit of the doubt of it being a late notice fight. And now they want me to do May 9th. That goes out the window. That, it's not really a late replacement fight. It is, but it is for me and it is in general. But, the general public would think, he got a full camp and this is a real fight, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, no, I'm not doing it.
So let me get this straight. So you're not doing it because you fell out of camp and started eating again?
Because so the 20-day notice was like something very special. Like that was something where I definitely could have performed and I would have performed. And I think
this is the April 18th.
This is the April 18th. I think I would have performed and I think I would have won. I wouldn't have been as confident. I was terrified. When they called me that night, I was terrified. I couldn't sleep. The next day I woke up terrified because I knew that this is not what I do. This is not how I do it. Because
you weren't fully prepared.
Because there's no way to fully prepare in that amount of time.
Right.
My mind. What I go in there and do, I have to get my mind in a very, very special place.
How much of it is that and how much of it is physical?
I don't know. I don't answer that
question.
I don't answer that. I can't answer that question for you.
But here's the question.
I don't process that. That's not something I ever process.
What I'm saying in this way though is how physically prepared were you? Were you in training?
Yeah. So I was just I was the main training partner for Neil Magny, Austin Hubbard when they fought in Vegas.
Oh. Okay.
I was in shape.
So the second fight, let me jump in here. The second fight I thought was a way better place to be from a conditioning standpoint because he was already in shape prior to the first one. We just went 2 weeks so hard. Like we were trying to get his body in shape quick, and that's a hard thing to do. Then he went and gained 12 pounds, we were 4 weeks out of that point, which is perfect because the fourth week out, I always pull back on and let their body recover because your third and your second week are our peak weeks. Those are the weeks that we need to really hit prime and really push hard. And it was perfect fit. I'm like, dude, we take this time off. You going up and eating. Now you're ready to go again. You got that little fire back in your body because you're able to eat whatever you want. And I thought it was perfect timing from how I train my athletes from a conditioning standpoint. And I actually had to talk him into that one. I was like, this is even better. Like, this is perfect for you for a 5-round.
So for your perspective, is like he had a chance to recover, eat all that food, take a little break, and that's good because your body gets to charge back up again and then grind back down.
Because 6 and 5 on week 6 and week 5 are hard weeks. They're like a start to those last 2 weeks of peaking. Because our fight week, we slow down a little bit and we just turn the engine on, turn it off. So we go 6 and 5.
So why did you feel that was not a good fight, the May 9th fight?
So I had no idea my body would respond as well as it didn't. I didn't think I could be ready, 100%. I've always done 12 weeks. That's all I've known. That's all I've ever known.
So you felt like the first decision was just like a split decision. In the middle of COVID-19, fuck it, I'm going to do it anyway. And then when they came to you the second time, you're like, no. I want a real camp.
Yeah. So why can't we just push it to May 26th?
Right.
Give me 3 extra weeks. Then I get my whole 8 to 10 weeks.
Right.
And that's all I asked for. So that was my mindset when they called me, because I knew they were going to call me the day before. I was like, watch, they're going to fucking call me, and they're going to want me to fight May 9th or something like that. And I knew it. And then my manager called me. He's like, May 9th, let's go. I was like, fuck that. I was like, no.
He was so mad.
No, I was like, fuck that. I was like, I ain't no fucking puppet. I'm not going to dance when they want me to dance. I was like, I said I don't take late replacement fights. This is now a late replacement. This is different circumstances. These aren't the circumstances everyone, and even he was like flabbergasted. He's like, what are you talking about? It's the same thing. I'm like, no, it's not the same thing. Like, to me, it's not, because, I don't know. Confidence is everything. I know I can perform,
But you wanted everything to be done right.
It was the biggest fight of my life.
Right, of course.
But ultimately, and then when I thought about it, I was like, if it's anybody's fault, it's my fault, because I knew this, I knew I was going to fight again. And if I was training hard, but I wasn't training with the mindset, that I need to. I have an old school wrestling mentality. You have to see the prize. Every single morning you wake up, the guy that you're going to fight. That wasn't there. That wasn't there when I woke up in the morning. So I didn't feel like I was preparing in the proper way for something that was at this level.
So you don't just need 10 weeks for your body. You want it for your mind as well.
That's the most. Yeah, that's the most important part to me. I've been training since I was 4. My body is a machine. I didn't know I can get ready in that amount of time. That's what it comes down to. I had no idea because I've never tried it.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't better. I had done better between fights since I fought Cowboy than I had ever done between fights. In the fact that I was staying in shape, running.
Well, there was a great moment after the second round, after you got hit with that uppercut, where you came back to the corner and you told them, take something off your punches. Take about 10% off. Just hit him with clean shots. Yep. You're trying to murder him with every shot. And then you made that adjustment. Yeah. And that was really interesting because a lot of times coaches will tell stuff to fighters and the fighters probably know somewhere in their head, but it's fucking with them that they're starting to get tired. It's fucking with them that they got hit and then they lose some composure. They get emotional and they go out there and they wind up making mistakes. You immediately adjusted and you went out there and you would see like by the end of that second round when Tony hit you with that shot, people were like, well, maybe this is a shift in the direction of the fight. Nope. The shift was the opposite way. You came out in the third round more technical, and you came out and did exactly what Trevor said.
Yeah, we worked long and hard on that. I trust him with everything, as he said. He wouldn't be my coach if I didn't trust him with my life and with everything I go in there to do. Fuck.
So
I'm trying. The crazy thing is you only see 10% of the interaction between us in between rounds. I'm actually talking to the UFC trying to get that whole thing. But it was just like when they come to me in the 5th round and I was laughing. Mm-hmm. I had just asked. The reason I was laughing is because I had just asked him. I said, "Was that the end of the 2nd or 3rd round?" And they're like, "This is a 5th round." I was like, "No fucking way! I'm in that good of shape." I was like,
"It's so important for fighters to see that adjustment and how his endurance leveled off." Because it was like you were having these wild exchanges, and you were fucking hitting Tony. First of all, Tony Ferguson is made out of metal.
It's
I
crazy.
mean, what
it's
in
crazy.
the fuck,
Especially when
dude?
you're talking about a body type, like you were talking earlier about
Yeah.
someone with a frail body type. He doesn't have a chiseled neck.
Right, he's not built like
but
Mark
he
Hunt.
is. It's so unique to me. So
It was pretty stunning how well you adapted, and then also how your endurance leveled off. Like, so, because you did seem like you were slowing down a little bit at the second round, but it was because you were sprinting, because you were throwing these full power fucking haymakers. But then when you leveled off in that third round, then it's like you had an endless gas tank. Then it was interesting.
You're in control of yourself. If you're making decisions, it's a lot easier on your psyche.
Yeah.
When you're trying to just fight out of things all the time, again, you're not in control. If you can't control your thought, you cannot control your breathing.
How stunned were you that Tony could take those shots?
In the fight, there's no point where I even understand.
You weren't thinking at all, just throwing them.
It was crazy. The shots I hit, when I was hitting him with some of those shots, especially the one when I came through and he was throwing an uppercut, I couldn't believe he didn't go to sleep with that. But I go back to the Michael Johnson fight, when he hit me with that left hand, there's no reason I shouldn't have went to sleep then. So I haven't figured that part. 'Cause everything a knockout shot should be. I don't know why I didn't go to sleep. I got to figure that part out. I know how people go to sleep. I don't know how
people don't go to sleep.
They don't go to sleep.
It's random. It's weird. I mean, sometimes guys take head kicks, full-on head kicks, and they don't go to sleep.
It's position. It's position.
Yep.
Everything is position.
Well,
So is
your
Cowboy.
low kick for many years wasn't thrown with the right technique, but when you kick people, they're like, oh my gosh, like you have a sharp, heavy bone. It's so
I
unique.
got dense bones. I got the densest bones in the UFC.
There you go. So there's a
Really?
spot. Yeah.
So they've done a scan on you?
Well, they said they can't confirm or deny I got the densest bones in the UFC.
They
but I'm
can't
gonna
confirm
go.
it.
They
The
can't run
government?
it out. I know, right?
No, yeah,
they
they
can run
have
it out. We got these stats.
They have a
but-
DEXA scan
Right.
at the UFC PI, and you lay there, inch by inch, scans your whole body, tells you what you're made of. But yeah,
Your bones are denser than Yoel's?
I would assume so.
That seems crazy. That guy.